The internet is the FAFO champion once again. It is just wild what'll happen on here if you mess with it. The government's been trying to ban TikTok now for years, right? Like ever since it hurt Trump's feelings and he tried banning it back when he was president. And after that, they just never stopped trying. And every single time we're like, could you not? You know, it's a place we enjoy. It makes us happy, which is a good thing because you fuckers make us insanely miserable all of the time. And if we don't have that, we may very well revolt. And also, you know, a lot of us make a livelihood on here and find communities that are important to us. And they're like, no, you can go homeless and hungry gets a sacrifice you're gonna have to make because TikTok collects the face data from the Wi-Fi and gives it to the Chinese Communist Party probably. And we cannot allow the Chinese Communist Party to just freely collect Americans' data all willy-nilly. They should have to buy that data from Zuckerberg and Musk like everybody else. And we can't have the Chinese Communist Party spreading propaganda on a Chinese-owned app that Americans use. If our foreign adversaries want to spread propaganda in America and try to influence our society and our elections, they need to pay Musk and Zuckerberg to do that like Putin does. It is fucking disrespectful that China thinks they can just come up in here and do that shit for free. We're like, unless cat videos and thirst traps are Chinese propaganda, we haven't been seeing anything Chinese at all. They're like, no, you just don't know what you're talking about. We know, and we're gonna ban it for national security, and you're gonna thank us for it. Like, but half the fucking country uses this app to communicate, like for speech and stuff, and that seems kind of like it's violating our free speech. Like, China, national security is at stake because China might be collecting the face data with the Wi-Fi, okay? And we're gonna ban it, and you are gonna like it. Like, but hey, haven't you been using the app to like campaign on? If you're so worried about it, why were you on the app? Like, Chinese communism face data, okay? How many more times do I need to say it? Finally, they like sneak it into this great big package bill and got enough people to sign on to pass it. And I'm like, fine, fuck you guys, we'll just take it to court. They'll definitely see how blatant of a First Amendment violation this is. And then these judges were like, yeah, no, sorry, these Zuckerberg bribes don't pay themselves. I mean, national security, this is national security. Sorry guys, it's getting banned. And then it goes to the Supreme Court and we're all listening and the government's like, yeah, China could, it's redacted, you can't see, but just trust me, bro, China could definitely use this to do propaganda and collect data from American citizens, and it's a grave national security risk. And then the internet just turns around and it's like, you know what, fine. And it did what the internet does best. It fucking memed the shit out of reality. So you're worried about TikTok, right? A privately owned company based in Singapore with tons of American investors, because its parent company ByteDance has ties to the Chinese Communist Party. And do you feel that that is a data collection and propaganda national security risk? Got it. Have you heard of Red Note? No? We hadn't either until 4 minutes ago. Turns out it's Chinese, like super Chinese. Like the entire app is pretty much written in Chinese. It's so Chinese that the Chinese Communist Party you're so worried about owns it. It's like TikTok, but just super Chinese. And we don't know if they collect the face data on the Wi-Fi, but we do know that you have to swear allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party and give them your phone number to sign up for it. At least I think that's it. Who knows? The terms and conditions are in Chinese. We didn't read that shit. We just clicked what I think was agree and gave them our phone number. And once you get on there, it turns out that because it's a China app owned by China, it's got Chinese people doing China things. And I don't know if it's Chinese Communist Party propaganda that we're seeing on the China app that's owned by China, but I do know I'm seeing way more China shit on the China app owned by China than I ever saw on TikTok. Which is honestly pretty easy to do because aside from the made in China stickers on the shit I got from TikTok shop, I never saw anything about China on TikTok. And it turns out that all of these Americans that are now on the China app owned by China with all the Chinese people on it are talking to the Chinese people that are on the China app owned by China, and they're like, hey, China seems kind of cool in some pretty interesting ways. Like, damn, their grocery prices seem pretty cheap, and they got some badass affordable cars that we're not allowed to buy here. And the Chinese people on the China app owned by China seem like they're, you know, relatively happy, fun people. Those are just my observations anyway, but what I'm getting at is it seems like the internet saw that the US government was throwing this like massive toddler temper tantrum in the middle of the aisle at the grocery store because they weren't getting what they wanted. And the internet put its parents' pants on and looked the US government square in the eye and said, if you're gonna cry about Chinese data collection and propaganda, I'll give you some Chinese data collection and propaganda to cry about. Now all of a sudden SCOTUS hasn't ruled on it when they said they were going to, and Biden's reversing course on his opinion on the TikTok ban, and Congress was trying to pass a 270-day extension on TikTok. Of course, then Tom Cotton comes out and just, you know, does Tom Cotton and is just an absolute insufferable asshole who blocks the 270-day extension. But regardless of what happens now, you can chalk one up on the scoreboard for the World Wide Web because well fucking played, internet. Well played.